To start off this episode, we have a bitter and sweet. So we're switching up the rhythm of the episode.
Okay.
So take one of these paddles.
Yes, thank you.
This episode is sponsored by Field,
Ooh.
a dating app for the curious.
Love.
They're very much about like exploring your desires and your needs outside of like the conventional way of dating. So like through conversation, through like really like open conversation and dialogue. So
Like that.
we love it.
Love.
So Field also is spelled FEELD for people wondering what the app is called and how it's spelled. Because it sounds like field day. Like out in the
Field Day,
fields.
yeah. I think it's because I've been seeing the ads.
You've been seeing the
I've
field?
been seeing
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I recognized it when you said field. But
Field, yeah. So this bitter or sweet is going to be about kinks.
Ooh, we're getting sneaky. and
Spicy. This is a spicy one. I don't think I've ever spoken. Maybe I've spoken about like toe sucking on this podcast before, but like because we were
Just
talking, I think
straight
straight into it. But let's talk about kinks.
Okay.
To start us off, why do you think people feel shame around talking about kinks?
Because of, well, people are just, because they're scared to be judged or perceived as, again, it's just about how you're going to be perceived by people.
Yeah.
You're going to be perceived as weird or weird maybe.
Yeah.
But just
Or
because
like-
you don't follow the general.
Like the general norms of
Yeah,
what
the
it is.
general norms.
I feel like also from like, I don't know, I'm thinking about my perspective or like a
Yeah.
woman's perspective. If I was to talk about a kink I had, I feel like I would be kind of judged, or like maybe they'd be like, oh, she's kind of freaky, or
That's what I'm
you're
saying,
very
yeah,
like
you'll be-
experienced, you've been outside. Do you know what I
experienced. I didn't
mean?
even
Like
think
I
of
feel
it
like
that way, but you're
you
right.
would, I feel like people might process it that way, and so you'd be like, oh, I'm a bit ashamed to be like, this is what I'm into, because I'm afraid of how I'm going to be perceived.
I mean, that's a good point. Also, obviously, there's levels to this shit, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
There's levels as to, first of all, what the actual kink is.
Yeah.
And then you being male or female also could be definitely, like you'll be looked at in a different way.
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
reactions will be different for sure.
I hate that. I hate that
hate
men
that.
like can really just get away with
Stuff.
a lot of things.
But they're also shamed more for certain things, like when it comes to certain kinks.
Yeah. I
Don't you
mean,
think
do you
so?
think so?
In certain kinks, I think so. And this is why I'm like, context matters.
Yeah, I guess so. Like when men, like if it's a bit sassy or like it comes off a bit considered this is
zesty or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah, true.
then-
You'd be like, what
yeah.
the hell? Like, do you remember
What?
do you remember in Insecure when Molly was with that guy and they were
That
talking
iconic
They were
scene.
talking. Yeah, for people that don't know, in the TV show Insecure,
Yeah.
Molly was dating this guy and he was like, oh, tell me about your like the craziest secret or whatever. And she's like, I made out with a girl in college.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I had the same one.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I can't lie though. I think I would be like,
See, we've talked about this, I think. Would you accept it at a certain level, or there's like no level you, or not accept it, but you'd be
I
a
don't know
little
if I
bit
would
like,
accept it. I think it's more just like I'd be very like suspicious.
Okay.
Like, does that mean you're like into men as well? Like, or what is the?
You'd have more
what's-
questions.
I'd have a lot more questions.
lot
like,
more
what's going on
questions.
here? Wouldn't you?
I definitely would have more questions, but I think it's more because I don't know, maybe I'm just, I don't know what to say on this, but yeah, I'd have more questions, but I think it would be just more to be like curious and like, oh, okay, tell me a little more about that. Not so much because I'm like,
I can see you being curious. Though. I
Yeah,
can see
I
you being
think
like,
I'd be
like very
curious.
open and like
I try to be
Yeah.
at least. I don't know.
yeah. I do feel like we should be more open towards it because
I agree.
on the flip side of it, especially like when it comes to like black men or even Habeshas, we're very closed off to this conversation around kinks. And like, I think sometimes men can feel like it's like emasculating. They
Yeah.
feel like, okay, certain kinks, whether it be like for example, something like bringing toys into a bedroom. I feel like a lot of black men will feel emasculated because they're kind of like, well, that's not me, that's that, you know? And they feel like
or even things like that that are otherwise considered as feminine or something that's a bit, I don't know, I hate to use it, but gay, really.
Yeah.
Because even though it's like, who said that? You know what I'm saying? So things like that, I really hear what you're saying. They can feel emasculated, so we need to be better at being open and supporting
and it
them.
works. I definitely think it works both ways because it's like where
100%.
I can see
Them
especially
being
where they're like hyper like sensitive. I think they're very sensitive because they want to be like perceived masculine. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like if you're turning it down, or if I'm having a reaction like, ooh, that's going to come off a certain way when it comes to them being like comfortable in their sexuality.
Yeah. And then being perceived as like, you know, I think like men, when it comes to sexuality, at least like a lot of the macho men or whatever, ethnic Habesha men, that kind of thing, they like to think they're sexual like top dogs, right? And I think any reason where that's questioned or challenged,
they feel a bit like
their whole manhood can feel a bit shaken. But yeah, so we definitely do need to do better in the way we react to men,
them,
like exploring that, and even just like not pushing it, but like
encouraging
encouraging it. That's the word. Encouraging
them
it.
to